Ju, 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 ju. La da 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 da. It is. It's the BIGG-BUMP. Bigg Bump. Oh, I'm not on. Am I? Do I hear myself? Is he unmuted? Unmute him. Unhand him. We are live now with Bigg Bump. Bigg Bump is with us today. Are you there?
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice. Good morning, guys. It's Monday, October 9th, 2023 AD, 9:01 a.m., almost 9:02. Caller is already on hold, chomping at the bit to talk to Hake and Bigg Bump, BIGG-BUMP. We're going to talk about... Do you remember what we're going to talk about, Bigg Bump? I do remember some of this stuff.
Dabble with the Israel-Hamas situation. I guess Hillary Clinton comments. MAGA extremists. Also, literacy in America and this so-called. I just found out civil rights, that reading is a civil right. It blew my mind. So
I saw that. Bigg Bump sent me some news headlines that he wanted to cover, or tips that he links of issues, and this one gal said she wants to declare it a global civil right.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So all that, guys. Oh, might have been something else. Oh yeah, illegals in the do-gooder Christian.
Oh yeah,
establishment organization,
right.
Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Their Salvation Army is flying illegals to New York with FEMA money, federal so-called tax dollars. What a mess.
Right.
So all that and your calls, guys, if you'd like to call in. Some of you are already on hold. But anyway, everybody, Hake and Bigg Bump gonna get started with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I am wearing my Christopher Columbus was a hero t-shirt. It says established 1492. I got this t-shirt from the Red Elephants store from a former JLP guest and the Fallen State guest, Real Vincent James, a researcher, historian of sorts, and relatively white man, Catholic, maybe Irish. But check it out. And you got your Dodgers hat on.
Yes.
Right on.
As usual.
Nice. Morning, Bigg Bump.
Good morning, sir.
Evil is still real, by
Happy
the
Columbus Day.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, right on.
Indigenous Peoples Day, as the haters call it. Evil is still real says it's champing at the bit, not chomping at the bit. Host tard. Oh, well, my mother always said chomping at the bit. Maybe I'm saying champing with an English accent, which would make it sound like chomping. Anyway, thanks, guys, for joining me. Do you want to start with a call before we get into the topics here?
That's cool.
Or two?
Right on.
Real fast, let's get to Denny in Bulgaria, who's on the line. He wants to comment on something going on in the world. Denny, what's up, man?
Good day, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, yeah, we are doing well. I assume.
Doing well. Thanks.
Yep.
Glad to hear. I just wanted to call because it's a little bit strange. I wanted to get your opinion on this matter as well. Well, what do you think the European Union and the United States decided not to fund Ukraine for the war, and another conflict started immediately? I just think that it's a little bit sad, a little bit strange as well. And also to highlight something very important, there is no such thing, and there has never been such thing as Palestine. That's the name of a region, but it's not. It has never been a real country.
Oh,
it's like Kurdistan. right? There are Kurds, and they are in Turkey and Iran and Syria, but there has never been a Kurdish citizen because they are an ethnic group, just like the so-called Palestinians.
Yeah.
But there was never really a country. They were in that region, and if you actually want to know, it was horrible when they were in that region, before the Jews, before Israel was established as a country. This was probably one of the most miserable places on earth. And you can actually read it. An American author called Mark Twain actually detailed everything. And, that was before Israel was even made. So, yes, they did have that land. They were there, but they weren't doing anything. There was no infrastructure. There was no system or anything. They were just there. And I've heard a few people saying that the Israelis, quote unquote, stole the land.
Uh-huh.
First of all, you cannot steal land. It doesn't work like that. You can either conquer it or you can buy it. In this particular example, it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But if it was conquered, well, that means that the conqueror did a better job. So, yeah, you can just learn that. And if it was bought, which, again, that's exactly what happened, partially.
Yeah.
Well, you stole it. I mean, this is absurd. So, honestly, I just wanted to highlight that because it seems that a lot of people were not aware of that. And that's exactly what happened. The Palestinians that were there, but they did nothing with the land. And therefore, well, now it's much, much better. I used to read Mark Twain when I was in high school, a little bit in college in the beginning. So I am familiar with what was before. And truth be told, if people actually believe that the Jews, quote-unquote, stole the land, they know either very little or basically nothing of history. And I just wanted to highlight that. This is important.
It reminds me of the communist false history of the people's history of America, this Howard Zinn guy that Trump denounced, and I read about him before that. They're saying, oh, America is on stolen land. We stole it from the American Indians, and we stole it from the Mexicans. We conquered and bought it, and the American Indians weren't doing anything with the land. They were not a single nation. There were many nations warring in some cases, some of them more peaceful than others. And what you're telling me sounds right to me.
Indeed, and that you cannot steal land. It doesn't work like that.
Unless you're the government, then you can then you can take land from the people. But in other words, we're conquered by the government.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I was about to say that. Well, you were conquered by the people you either voted for or voted against, but still, it's not, yes, private property can be seized, it can be taken, but I'm not talking about.
Right, we're talking about a country. We're talking about land owned by a nation of peoples.
Indeed. So I really would like to encourage you, Mr. Hake, and Bigg Bump and your audience, if you have a moment, read about it because I think it will be very interesting for you. I think you're going to enjoy those notes a lot.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate that. Bigg Bump is here, and he has some interesting background that he's going to share with us on Israel and Hamas and stuff like that. Right on.
With that said, Mr. Hake, thank you for taking my call. Kind regards to your audience and your colleagues, and all the best, sir.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Denny in Bulgaria. Bye. I hung up on him because I didn't want to hear a click. Preemptive. I gotta know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Because that one guy mumbles. He's quick on the click.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's get to one more call. Johnny in South Dakota. Johnny in South Dakota, you're live talking with Bigg Bump and Hake.
Yeah, you know me. I'm the infamous dog guy.
Oh, yeah. Good to hear from you, man. Have you called into Hake before?
Yeah, I
Okay.
called in and talked about another subject, but I don't know if you when I called associated with me. But I'm famous because I'm crying for my dog and all that.
Yep.
But
You and your wife.
There's actually more to me.
Okay. Nice.
I used to be a professional singer, and you did say something about me knowing I'm funny, and I've been told I should be a comedian, and there's other things, and maybe I could sing for Bigg Bump at the end of the call.
Nice.
But I'll give him a little sample of Wide-Eyed Soul. All right, but
Blue-eyed.
the reason, if you don't mind, Bigg Bump, the reason I called was, hey, Butch, you guys talked about the Balkans on Friday.
Yes. I remember somebody mentioned the Balkans, and I'm like, Jesse asked, where's that?
Okay, and then one guy called up, but all due respect to him, he didn't really explain. I'm Croatian background. All four of my grandparents are from Croatia.
Okay.
And I've studied the history. I know history of Europe and America very, very well. And what happened was that the Slavic tribes in the 6th century came down to the region, Balkan region, and assimilated the Iranian, that were the indigenous people. It was the modern-day Albanians. They assimilated the Iranian tribes. So that's how you got the Slavs and the Albanians and the Montenegros. Most of it's Slavic down there now. But the Montenegrins and the Kosovo, they have some of the Albanian in them too, and that's the original people.
The original people ever? Like Adam and Eve?
The indigenous people of the Balkans were the Albanians, and they were called the Iranian tribes. And they came down from the north, Transylvania, the Carpathian Mountains, and there's some isolated regions up there that are very interesting. And the Slavic countries are Czechoslovakia and Poland, and Hungary is not Slavic, Romania is not Slavic, the rest are. And that's the history of the nation, of the Balkans.
How did that come up? I forget what the context was on Friday.
Oh, somebody called up and said that he's got some chick from Montenegro, and Jesse said, "What? She's a Negro or something?"
Oh yeah, that was on the Fallen State. That was a Fallen State trailer.
Okay.
That was
and
with
Jesse didn't know. No.
David Nino Rodriguez, El Nino Rodriguez. Nino or Nino
Yeah, he
Rodriguez.
didn't know nothing about no Montenegro. That was some Negro or something. But anyway, okay, yeah. So the Slavic tribes came down the 6th century. Before that, it was just the Iranian tribes, which are the Albanians.
Okay,
that's the history of the nation.
Nice.
And I just I better call up, straighten that out, because that's what happened.
Do you know this through your mother or through your father, or through only your grandparents, your grandmother or grandfathers?
All four of my grandparents are born in the region.
Right, but how did you learn this information?
Oh, I'm not educated. I didn't do good in school. I learned history on my own because I was curious.
Oh, okay, nice.
I know stuff about the Americans that most Americans don't even know.
I bet, for sure. Are you in your 70s or 60s?
I'm the same age as Jesse.
Okay, I remember that vaguely. Nice.
Yeah, he's 13 days older than me.
Classic call about the dogs, the love for the dogs.
Well, no, that's been quite a journey because, well, it's weird, Hake, because I found my weakness of emotional. Now I got to watch judging myself.
Yeah.
Because of what I did. And I go, okay, just see you did error and don't judge the whole, you know what I mean? Like, geez, what a nincompoop I was. And then I got to watch being hard on myself.
Yeah.
And the dog thing is an unfolding awakening of emotionalism and all of us reaching out in the wrong area for love. It's been quite a journey for me.
Right on, man. That's cool.
And you guys helped a lot, but it's been very interesting.
Hassan stands with you.
Yeah, I loved you guys' comments because you said, John, I think he knows he's funny. Yes, I'm very funny.
Yeah.
When I go shopping, I crack up the whole grocery store. Yeah. I mean, I am funny. And And Sean, I know, is going through it. He's looking at both sides. And yeah, we like dogs, but yeah, there's a weird little thing happens where we start to get too much comfort for it. It's strange.
Yeah.
But it's something we all do. It's something we do with women and hamburgers and whatever.
Yep. So true,
So,
man. That's cool. Thank you, Johnny in South Dakota. It's great to hear from you again.
Yeah. Now, can I sing for Bigg Bump?
Yes. Let's hear it.
Just a little bit. So I used to be a professional singer. Turn out the light. Oh, be mine tonight. I need to have you close to me. Now, a little sample.
Nice.
Nice.
What do you think, Bigg Bump?
I like it. I like your voice. It
Thanks,
reminds me
buddy.
old timey, so I like that.
I had to share it with you. Well,
Yeah,
I want to be
cool.
known as something besides crying over my dog.
Thanks. Hopefully that takes over.
I have some other talents.
Nice.
All right, you guys, take care.
Thank you,
You as
Johnny
well.
in South Dakota. Take care. All right, I hung up too, and I didn't get a click. Sweet. So, Bigg Bump, how you been?
I've been doing well.
Right
Hanging
on.
in there. The usual, just work, family, just taking care of, the usual stuff. That's it. Everything's cool.
Guys, if you're not familiar, Bigg Bump has guest host. You guest hosted for Hake in November 11th, 2022.
Almost a year, yeah.
Yeah, almost
All
a
right.
year ago. And he's co-hosted a number of times. Thanksgiving Day, I think, something like that. Thursday. I think that was
was it
Thanksgiving Day.
Probably so. Yeah.
Thanksgiving morning of
Yeah.
last year.
Right?
Also co-hosted Labor Day recently, Juneteenth, Memorial Day, MLK Day, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
He's the opening rap verse of the Stand Up remix at the end of the JLP show. Follow him on Twitter/X at Bigg Bump, Bigg BIGG _BUMP. On YouTube channel, Bigg Bump, all one word, 2 G's. On SoundCloud, Bigg-Bump. And other platforms, right?
Yeah.
Gab, Truth Social.
Yeah. And I haven't put videos up or anything on Rumble now.
I saw you're a
finally get my
user.
account. Yeah. So,
yeah. You can create a channel as a user
okay.
or you can just do it, upload videos as a user.
Okay.
That's what Get a Job does. Get a Job too.
Right.
He's a user.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can create a channel if you like.
Yeah. So that's what I did, just so I can make myself,
Yeah.
put myself in that world.
Right
yeah,
on.
So, yeah. And that's Bigg Bump, all one.
All one word.
BIGGBUMP.
Yeah.
All one word. Right.
You could connect it to your YouTube channel so that it uploads whatever YouTube videos that you have
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah. I'm
Generally,
okay.
if you want.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm very. I want to get to that
Yeah.
pretty soon.
It's good to have alternative because that's probably what Get a Job is kicking himself that he didn't do.
Right.
Because now he has to upload them himself personally.
Right.
And he has like 30 down, 99, 60 to go or something like that.
Yeah.
Get a Job's channel was deleted on YouTube, but I doubt that Bigg Bumps will, right? We're praying for him. So let's get into these topics before too long, man.
Yeah.
Let's get into the illegals right now.
Okay.
Because we care about what's going on at home first.
Yes,
America
definitely.
first,
America first. That's for sure.
as my competitor might say.
Yeah. So with all these open borders stuff going on, it's bringing all type of, people coming out to support and, of course, not support what's going on.
Yeah.
And this weekend, or it may have been Friday when I seen this article with the Salvation Army. The headline is from Daily Mail that migrants are now being sent to New York by plane from California, and Salvation Army passing, or is this my note? Salvation Army using FEMA or federal funds to help these illegals get across the country, and which was when I seen that I was like, Salvation Army.
Yeah. I used to think of them as like a little bit better than Red Cross.
Right. Oh,
Because Red
yeah.
Cross is very liberal, right? I
Yeah.
think of them as they're just like in bed with Globo Homo.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
And then Salvation Army, you go to their thrift stores, and they're Salvation. That's a Christian thing.
Right.
They're like a Christian organization, but they've
Right.
been around forever, and they're huge. And what are they really about? You never hear about them making any
never.
moral stand, which
Right,
maybe that's
that's
not
true.
really their position to take a moral political stand. But they're like charity, right?
Right.
Nonprofit.
Yeah.
And they're flying migrants to New York
Total
with
opposite.
FEMA dollars. FEMA, which I don't even know if FEMA should exist. Federal Emergency Management
No, it
Agency.
shouldn't. That's DHS shouldn't even be around. So
Oh, they're part of DHS?
Yeah. That's-
Department of Homeland Security. Wow.
Yeah. TSA
Founded by
guy.
Jimmy Carter and Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Yeah.
Whoa, you knew that? That's funny, man. 1979.
Yeah, he's and that's a whole nother person. You can put him along on the situations in the Middle East.
Brzezinski.
Yeah, Afghan, Soviet Union issues. He's
wow.
Yeah, so. But anyway, yeah, back to the
Salvation
illegals,
Army.
The Salvation Army. Yeah, that's it just blew my mind when I seen Salvation Army.
Yeah.
You know, I've my oldest, she's gone to Salvation Army camps.
Oh, wow.
You know, they'll stay the week or so and do all that.
It's like a Christian, somewhat Christian
yeah.
summer camp type of
Yeah,
thing.
right. Yeah, often in Malibu area. You know,
Wow.
off the Malibu. So when I'm like, come on, man, it
It's like the Boy
blew me
Scouts.
away. Right.
The Boy Scouts used to be Christian. Did you know that?
Right. Yeah.
And then they forced the
How far
gays
we
onto
come.
them.
Right. Yeah.
And the women.
Yeah, the usual. That's
Yeah.
how it snowballs. Somehow it snowballs into that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. There was something that also caught my attention with this, with them saying, because you just mentioned about you said they're supposed to be Christian. They didn't have, it was like they weren't, I'll use the word partisan or political in any type of way.
Right.
But they made a statement. They were saying that almost basically like, what would Jesus do?
Oh, gosh.
What I call, or what is called the liberation theology or theology liberation, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
that they always go back to, oh, Jesus would help them out, and it's like a socialist type
Yeah.
mindset that. When I seen that, I'm like, no, not Salvation Army. I'm still not. I'm still not going for it. But that's what they're doing. They're actually, right along with what the government wants.
Yeah.
And they're doing the bidding and ruining the country.
Taking flights while in the United States, these
Yeah.
illegals. So they're flying from where to New York City?
I don't. Did I see specifically? I don't know if I saw
I saw that
specifically.
either.
Hold on, let me see. I just seen they're just saying from California. There's no specific area or location, and I don't want to say I'm assuming, but it says something about the border. So I don't know if it's from San Diego or they're allowing them to come up further north
Yeah.
to this area. But it's just specifically that they are flying from California to
Wow.
New York City itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with limited papers, if they have papers or documents,
Right.
fine. If they don't, fine. And that's just anyone's open season
Yeah.
for anyone and anything to come in and shake up everything as it's going down right now.
This Daily Mail article out, updated today, I guess, but
Okay.
out on Friday, the 6th.
Yeah, well, I thought it was Friday.
It says assistance documentation printed by the organization. I presume that's what is that, FEMA? I don't know which organization. They don't really.
Are you talking about?
Their articles are sloppy. This is the third paragraph down in this article.
1, 2. Okay.
Was shared on X to Wednesday.
Oh, that was
Salvation Army.
Salvation Army.
Salvation
document.
Army
Yeah,
showing TSA airport staff. That's the Transportation Security Administration. Those blacks and POCs who steal your stuff.
Steal your stuff.
And they get into fights and they grope you, are handed a note saying migrants must cross the country where they will await ICE check-ins.
Yeah.
Not cross into the country, cross the country. Go from California to New York City, adding to
Right.
New York City's problems, by the way.
Right.
Because New York City is overwhelmed. Eric Adams traveled south of the border this past week, I guess.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he went across. He went to Mexico, and everything's going on here, but he's in Mexico,
Right.
which is weird. But
It is.
It looks like when. So I read somewhere someone saying that it looked like he was on a vacation, and when I seen a picture of him, I was like, before hearing about that, I said he looks like he's just going to Mexico
Enjoying
to
his time as mayor.
Yeah, right. He's not there to do anything. He's just there to have a good time. And,
He did his police work
Right.
as a cop in New York, and now he's smooth sailing as mayor of
Right,
New York
yeah,
City.
Yeah,
while New York is
doesn't care.
suffering.
Right.
Interesting, man.
It just and there was there's a picture of it, and there's a black chick in the background, and she looks like she just wants to be done with the interview so they can go out and go
Right.
to the beach or something like that, go
That's
shopping
funny.
or something. That's just what it looks like to me. That's how I took
Right.
it. Yeah.
Get this Photoshop over with.
Right.
We got to go to TJ.
Yeah. And another thing was the with him doing that, being that hypocrite of, oh, we're a shelter city.
Yeah,
you know,
sanctuary city.
Sanctuary city that, just a year ago he was touting that,
Wow.
pushing it. Now you get what you deserve.
Yeah, for sure.
And however, whether in Texas sending him over or not, whoever it is, that's what you ask for.
Yeah.
And that's what you get.
I heard that Florida was sending them over, but I
Yeah.
haven't really heard much about
I
Florida
haven't heard
lately.
much either, but I knew DeSantis was sending them.
He might
up
have sent them
north,
to
and
in front of Kamala's house.
Maybe.
In a,
I wouldn't be surprised.
was that at
Right.
Martha's Vineyard? Did she have a place in Martha's Vineyard? Or
That-
somebody was sent to
somebody
Martha's
was there.
Vineyard,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. We were just standing around with their papers.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, that is funny, and but yeah, it's just wow, and that's something that it's like the defund the police, where defund the police, and now they have a backlash of crime.
Yeah.
Now it's
And a
ramped up.
shortage of
Yeah,
police.
yeah, and again, you get what you ask for.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But so still, Salvation Army, just crazy how
Yeah, it's
they are
mind-blowing.
so involved in something like this. I wouldn't dare to even imagine that would be the case. But nowadays,
There was one of the early Anchor Baby shows, American Anchor Baby said on one of his early Nick streams that he found this rule by this one guy who said that every conservative organization will be taken over by its enemies and subverted. And that's what's happened to every major
yeah,
organization.
right,
From Fox News to Salvation Army to Boy Scouts to everything.
to everything, right, yeah, and it's a takeover, and then they almost weaponize it as soon as they take it over. They go hard off
Shamelessly.
the top. Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So that really I was surprised by that situation. I was trying to find what one of the quotes that Salvation Army used specifically, but I can't find it in here right now.
I see this letter, and they're saying if there are any issues whatsoever, this is TSA employee from the Salvation Army. Please reach out to me at 818 area code at
Yeah,
Jessica
local.
Islas.
So that I'm glad you said that. So that shows you it is the LA area. also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're probably flying out of Burbank and LAX.
Right. And then this is Salvation Army of Riverside and Moreno Valley. but she has an 818 area.
Yeah.
I used to have an 818 area
used
code
to
when I
have
was
one as
in
well.
when I was in kindergarten. It was 818, and then they changed it to 626.
Right. I think about 95, 96 is when it changed.
Maybe 80s. You might be right. I forget. It might have been early, like my early high school days that they
Yeah.
changed to 626. I remember 714 became 909 because they split it up.
Right. Right.
Because I guess that's the overpopulation.
Population, yeah. Yeah.
All the Asians moving in, the Hispanics, and everything. That's wild.
Right. Right. So I did find that what I wanted to say about it. So it says in here, we provide, this is Salvation Army, we provide these services as part of our calling to meet human needs in the name of Jesus Christ without discrimination.
Wow.
So that's the part that I, when I read that, I was like, yeah, it's not
All in the name of Jesus.
all in the name of Jesus.
I'm shaking my head. Makes me want to spit. Two. Hat tip to the real Mr. Mad. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Over 120,000 so-called asylum seekers, illegals, have flooded the state of New York, I guess.
Yeah. They say
And I don't know in
600
what
a
time
day.
period. 600 a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And New York City will be destroyed by the crisis, warned Eric Adams. No wonder he fled to Mexico.
Right.
Not my problem. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get to a call before we get into this Israel thing.
Okay.
David in Ocala, Florida, is on the line. He has a comment on illegals, quote unquote, in Israel. What's up, David?
Hey, how you doing, Hake?
Hey, doing fine. How about you?
Well, I just got back from Walmart, man. It is full of illegals.
Oh, really? In Ocala, Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Look,
How do you know they're
man,
illegal?
everywhere.
Are you racially profiling?
Yeah, I'm profiling.
Nice.
Yeah. Hello, Bigg Bump. How you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Right on.
I wanted to talk about, you had brought up Jesus, then people saying, well, Jesus would, he would be kind, let them people in, into our country like that.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let them into Israel. You can't go invade that country. That's the problem right now is the borders. Okay, they don't even have the land that they're supposed to have right now. And, when we force them to give up land, bad things always happen to this country. So,
Talk about Israel.
Yeah, when our government goes and forces, tries to get them to give land to the Palestinians, there's always problems after that.
I thought that, I thought that they, and I've also heard that they've been taking land, expanding, or bulldozing houses and doing
years
settlements.
ago, I remember watching TV on the news. There was Israelis taking sledgehammers to their own houses because they weren't going to let the Palestinians live in their houses because they had given up that land.
Oh,
Okay?
wow.
And they had to move. I couldn't believe it. This is probably like 10, 12
So there's been a
years
give
ago.
and take by Israel,
Yeah.
giving land, taking land, or different people taking land to and
Well,
from.
in the 1,000-year millennium, Jesus is going to give them the land that they're supposed to have. That's part of that. The borders are going to be correct. But
is that what Revelation says?
Yeah, it says it in the Bible. Yeah, that he's going to give. They're finally going to get the land that they were supposed to get. The borders.
Do you think
and
that
it's
means
a lot of land?
Do you think that means literally how you? Do you think it's the Bible means what you're? Well, obviously, you think that the Bible means what you're saying that it means.
Yeah, I take it literal. But they want.
I thought that they had a beautiful wall,
borders.
David. I thought that they had a beautiful wall with like fencing, turrets. Maybe not turrets. Like a moat. I'm
That's
joking
just
about the
probably
moat, but they had
Jerusalem.
like multiple layer
walls,
wall
yeah.
and fence.
High walls.
And
Yeah,
but where's that?
But you're probably just thinking about Jerusalem. I'm talking about the whole land. I'm talking about everything. Like
Okay, so they don't have a wall around their whole border.
No. They just have it around around Jerusalem and some cities. I'm sure. I don't know exactly how it goes, but they want a world without borders. That's what all this immigration stuff is about. Just like when the Muslims moved into England.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen, man, or into Europe, if Trump doesn't win this election coming up, you'll probably never see another Republican president.
You're probably right.
At
At least not a decent one. They're going to all be basically Democrats, which is what they are already.
Yeah, because when they come in, they're registered Democrats. We have a problem here in Florida with these people. These immigrants stand out by the road with these like fake funeral signs to get these people to donate on for a person that didn't even die.
Oh gosh!
And then they got what's called the fake violin thing, where they got these pre-recorded tapes and a violin going on, and people really think that they're playing the violin, and they go and give them money.
That's funny, man. That's crazy. The dishonesty. That's hilarious.
Well, what's really bad is if you
Suckers.
get into a car accident with them or something like that, you can't prosecute them.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they are uninsured motorists, and they don't even have driver licenses. They're fraudulently documented. It's a mess. Terrible, man.
Yeah. Are you a musician, Bigg Bump?
No, I just make music from time to time. That's all.
The rapper.
That too. I'm a rapper. I'm not a musician. But
do you make your own beats and stuff?
No.
Okay.
No. I have the tools to do it, but I just don't. No,
Yeah.
Never have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been following that Tupac?
I have. I have. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to prosecute him with the fact that Orlando Jones he passed away, and they'll just say that he did it, and so I can't see a jury going to convict him unless they really got him. They really got him. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Orlando Jones is the one who pulled the trigger, and this guy was
Orlando Anderson.
I believe
Anderson.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that how it goes, Bigg Bump?
And then this guy admitted to being in the car
Right.
or driving or something. Was he driving or
Right.
being in the car?
He was on the passenger side.
Oh, okay.
I can't recall the person
Yeah.
that was driving, but he's doing a lot of talking before he's gotten arrested. So everyone else the three other people in the car he was in are all dead.
Wow.
So if by him speaking, he's incriminating himself. He's not.
He's an accessory
Yeah.
to murder,
Yeah.
according to his own words.
Right. He's written a book or been in books, and he's talking about the books and saying different things. He won't say who did anything, but he's saying what happened that night. So he of course clearly knows what's going on.
Wow.
So something. It seems there's definitely more to it, of course. But
who's the suspect right now that they've arrested?
His hood name is Keefe D.
Oh, okay, Keefe D.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Keefe D.
That's
Not
how.
Yeah, and
it's
they're
not
trying to
Keefe D.
they're trying to
I
drag
pronounce it Keefe D.
into it, but
And he's 60 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
He's
wild.
an older guy.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Right.
It's wild that the guy, his nephew, is the one who allegedly shot
Yeah.
Tupac, and
Right.
then he was shot by a rival gang unrelated to this incident
A couple months after.
and killed.
Yeah.
A couple months after Tupac
that's
was murdered.
A few months after. Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. At a restaurant or something like that.
Black
yeah.
on black crime.
Right.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I was saying they're trying to drag P. Diddy into it, saying that he put $1 million contract out on him. So it's all it's crazy.
Yeah.
I call him
listen,
Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, that's it. I can't get it straight.
Yeah.
I go all the way. Remember Bigg Bump? You remember when Planet Rock came out? Were you alive?
Yeah, I was alive.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school.
I wasn't that old, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say that in 19 by Paul Hardcastle. Those are two of the first real, rap tunes besides that Grandmaster Flash song.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. But anyway, Y'all be good. Hey, thanks for taking my call, Hake, and just remember that stuff out in Israel that's going on right now, man. That's heavy-duty stuff, buddy.
Thank you, David in Ocala. Take care, man.
All right. Take care, buddy. All right, bye.
Bye. You wanted to say something? Follow up on that, Bigg Bump?
No, there was something, but it slipped my mind that quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into this Ron Paul thing. How about that?
That's cool.
Introduce this for us, Bigg Bump.
Yeah. So, watching online, Saturday. Today's Monday, right?
Yeah.
Sunday? Yeah. So Saturday, when everything went on with the Hamas Israeli issue,
Hamas
the
attacked Israel.
The attack. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Attacking Israel.
Did Israel let it happen? Anyway, sorry. I want to know. My conspiracy mind is wondering. Sorry.
Nah, all good.
I don't want to throw things off. Derail the whole segment.
That I was just reading, looking, just reading different things. Everything that's going on, and it just hit me that I remember Ron Paul about 12, 13 years ago talking about what they call blowback, and basically he went into that Congress doing it. I guess it was open to different things, and I don't know exactly what time it was, where time of year, if there was an incident that happened or occurred while he made this speech, and he was just talking about how they always use that chicken comes home to roost or whatnot when you help out someone, and then you get what you deserve type issue. It comes back around to you to affect you. So it just hit me. I'm like, oh, you know what? I remember hearing about someone funding Hamas, and this is the first thing I came to was Ron Paul talking about that the creation of Hamas basically was from Israel.
Wow.
Israel creating Hamas, and funded them back in '87 to help fight against Yasser Arafat.
I remember that name.
The PLO.
Palestinian Liberation
I
Organization.
guess organization, yeah. And I guess they pronounce it Fatah, and that's like a political arm of the PLO.
Okay.
They're like of course, a social democrat,
Oh.
commies, basically.
That's what Arafat was?
Or
that's what the PLO was, basically?
That's what the PLO was.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, he was I'll say he was a commie.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'll say that. So yeah, this speech he gave it. He had like a 2-minute speech, and he just went through, how we should stay out of foreign entanglements, and just bringing to light that what's going on. That again, that the creation of Hamas was basically by Israel, and it's
I
just
have the screenshots.
pay
Hassan.
the just to do their bidding. It's just like the same with Nick mentioned also the U.S. helping fund ISIS, Al Qaeda. Same situation because
we like Trump said Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are the co-founders of ISIS.
You're right. Yeah,
I remember that in 2016.
Yeah. So it's all the
they
same
funded them.
type, right?
Here's the screenshot of what you sent me, filmsforaction.org.
Yeah, and
I have the clip, too.
You have the clip?
Yeah, I have it.
Do you want to play it?
Yeah, clip 11.
He could say it better than I.
Clip 11, guys. This is from the Flex Effect on YouTube. Ron Paul speaks. He's a congressman out of Texas.
Time, right.
Back in 2011, give or take, would you say?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it had to be somewhere around there.
Do you happen to know what resolution they were going to do? Like, we support Israel against Hamas or something like that, maybe?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Because he's speaking against some resolution. I don't know what it is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but
it's something that he's...
Congress is always doing
something. Always getting into something.
Lip service, as if they support what's right.
Yeah.
So it's about 2.5 minutes. and as you said, they created Hamas to destabilize Arafat, who was very powerful at the time.
Right.
Clip 11, let's hear it.
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition to this resolution, not because I am taking sides and picking who the bad guys are and who the good guys are, but I'm looking at this more from the angle of being a United States citizen, an American, and I think resolutions like this really do us great harm. In many ways, what's happening in the Middle East, and in particular with Gaza right now, we have some moral responsibility for both sides in a way, because we provide help and funding for both Arab nations and Israel. And so we definitely have a moral responsibility, and especially now today, the weapons being used to kill so many Palestinians are American weapons, and American funds essentially are being used for this. But there's a political liability which I think is something that we fail to look at, because too often there's so much blowback from our intervention in areas that we shouldn't be involved in. You know, Hamas, if you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel, because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat. And you say, well, yeah, that was better then and served its purpose, but we didn't want Hamas to do this. So then we as Americans say, well, we have such a good system, we're going to impose this on the world. We're going to invade Iraq and teach people how to be Democrats. We want free elections. So we encourage the Palestinians to have a free election. They do, and they elect Hamas. So we first indirectly and directly through Israel help establish Hamas. Then we have election. Then Hamas becomes dominant, so we have to kill them. You know, it just doesn't make sense. During the 80s, you know, we were allied with Osama bin Laden. And we were contending with the Soviets. It was at that time our CAA thought it was good if we radicalized the Muslim world. So we financed the madrasa schools to radicalize the Muslims in order to compete with the Soviets. There's too much blowback. There's a lot of reasons why we should oppose this resolution. It is not in the interest of the United States. It's not in the interest of Israel either.
Wow.
Yeah.
I disavow. So that resolution was the Gaza Strip Conflict Resolution.
Right. Yeah.
Recognizes Israel's right to defend itself against attacks from Gaza and support a peace agreement. So these mama meddlers creating more trouble by helping, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he mentioned in the 80s we supported... He said CAA, but he might have meant CIA.
This is a slip. Yeah.
Okay.
CIA. Yeah.
CIA allied with Osama bin Laden. They wanted to radicalize the Muslims to compete with the Soviets, and now they're everybody's problem.
Yeah. Right. And that's exactly how it happens.
Isn't that interesting? How these puppet masters, we think that we're thinking for ourselves.
Right.
We being the people, Christians, Muslims, Jewish people. Unchristian atheists, women especially, think that we're thinking for ourselves, but we're being fed stuff, propaganda that somewhat makes sense. And then we take sides, and then because we all have this anger inside of ourselves, we're fighting amongst each other over stuff that we've been told to fight over.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Right, yeah. Nick brought it up too. He's like, he just asked me, he's like, is this a banker's war? It's like, yeah, at the top, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
But lower level, you're going to get the infighting, the divisions, the ideologies, ideas. You're going to get all the mess. It's going to cause so much mess underneath and or below rather. And,
Interesting.
And it leads to this. It comes to helping out someone for a gain in a different direction, and it gets out of hand. But it's not really out of hand. That's what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but that's how evil works. Yeah. And then it just plays everyone like a fiddle. Just
true. People are so predictable too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
BULOC GDA blank says it's called demoralization. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
as JLP says, you cannot rule over a moral people.
Right.
You have to demoralize
Yeah.
them. That's like the blacks, take away their morality and keep them angry and bitter and hopeless. Victims.
Yeah.
He said in church yesterday, emotional people who think that they feel the pain of persecution, they're dangerous, violent, spirited people.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Watch out. Beware.
Yeah, you have to watch out for that. That's for sure. Also, I want to make that it be known that with that funding, the Hamas, it does go back to the Afghan Soviet war type stuff. That's where the funding Hamas comes in, or Israel creating that they were going against the commies.
Okay.
So that's why I say Arafat being a socialist Democrat, that PLO being that way, that's the idea, that just having Hamas being more fundamentalists going against communists, just being anti-commie or whatnot. And,
right.
That's the take from it.
Okay.
That's where all that comes in with the United States helping Osama bin Laden, using him as a tool, because he would be anti-commie as well. He'll be against the Soviet Union.
Okay.
So
right.
Yeah, it just goes back to Cold War type stuff.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
interesting is that we call them anti-communist, but they're all communists. Like
Yeah.
the so-called Western world is communist.
Uh-huh.
It's a Western communist. Maybe Russia and all them and the Soviets. I don't know if Russia to this day is Eastern communist. China is definitely communist.
Yeah, right.
And then, as Bill Lockwood says, the Islam is socialism or communism
It's
in
still-
religious
yeah,
guard.
uh-huh.
It's all
I
just
agree with that.
powerful, false values, Satan spirit,
Yeah.
controlling mama spirit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, like you say, that Satan spirit is.
We weren't
it'll do you
overcoming
wrong.
evil with good. We were two devils fighting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
basically,
three devils
yeah.
fighting.
Yeah, and that's something else that I see. I'm watching all these different. I'm seeing conservative pundits or people. They're getting all, oh, this is that. You have to do this. You have to feel this way. If you don't feel this way, and they sound just like the Muslims or Hamas. Saying the same thing. You should, be against the Zionists, and it's the same thing. It's two devils fighting each other.
Yeah.
Or three devils fighting each other.
Right. Emotions are not the answer.
No.
Emotions are the problem.
Yeah.
The root part of the root issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it reminds me of, when there's a mass shooting, people get angry and then they're in their anger, they want to take away the guns. They think
Right.
that that's the solution.
Yeah.
But anger and intellect are what caused the mass shooting in the first place.
Right.
And it opened the doors for mass shootings to happen because they left people
Vulnerable.
ducks in a barrel or fish in a barrel.
Fish in a barrel, ducks in a barrel. I always thought it was fish in a barrel.
Sitting ducks.
Sitting
In
ducks.
a barrel. Terrible. Nick makes fun of me for that one. That's like that happens in liberal areas. It's like that blowback that you get what you deserve. You brought it on yourself.
Yeah.
By having liberal, broken families, creating conditions for misguided, young, angry people with a mama spirit because they're not close to their fathers and their fathers are weak or
Right.
gone
Yeah.
from their lives. And then they shoot and kill their mothers or shoot their mother or grandmother and then go and shoot children.
Right.
Happened in, where was that, New Mexico or Arizona or
Uvalde?
Texas? Uvalde, Texas.
Right. Yeah.
That guy shot his grandmother and then he went and shot the children.
Yeah.
And then over in Newtown, Connecticut.
Newtown, Connecticut. Yeah. the
He shot his
landslide.
mother
Right.
killed her, and
Yeah.
then went to the school and shot up the children.
Right.
And it was a liberal town, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
It's a liberal
yeah.
town.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And that's why they're going after Alex Jones, blaming him for something that their race, their spirit
Yeah.
brought about.
Right.
And
Yeah.
their thinking. Crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. It's it's insane.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Evil is insane.
Speaking of picking sides, let's get to this. This meme that you sent to me.
Oh,
This is from
forgot to know
you
you
see
hit
that
that up.
picking sides meme? Bigg Bump sent this to me. I disavow it. It's a nice little meme shared on X, Twitter. And it has a stereotypical Jewish-faced crying, what's this guy? Mr. Fields? And it also has a stereotypical Muslim face, slightly less stereotypical. Both of them shouting, "You must pick a side." And it has Alpha Man saying, "No."
Yeah. And that's just how I see it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh man, it's perfect because, like I said, when I seen it, I didn't even have any type of reaction to it, any thought or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. It's
Evil
interesting.
happening
yeah,
in the world.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, with people screaming back and forth, it's literally that.
Yeah.
And
Andrew Torba shared
yeah,
it
that
of
was
Gab.
totally what I seen. Yeah. This is same thing. You know, you have to pick a side. You
Right.
have to yell like me and be upset as, you know, as a Christian, and this, no, I don't have to do anything
Right.
other than pay attention to myself.
Yeah,
you know, and
exactly.
keep it moving. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, I don't have to do anything but stay
Stay
black
black
and die.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Right. I don't have to do anything but stay white and live. You know, it's the same thing that JLP said in church yesterday when he talked about this war
Right.
between Israel and Palestine. Everybody's going to try to make you pick sides.
Yeah.
And Ron Paul said that in that clip.
Yeah.
I'm not here to pick
Right,
sides of
exactly.
who's the good guy or bad guy.
Right.
But just to say that us picking a side has been part of the problem.
That's been the issue. Yeah, it's been the issue.
Yeah.
Picking a side. Just stay out of it.
And meddling.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was so right. It's funny. I used to think of Ron Paul. I've told you this before,
Yeah,
probably.
right,
I used to
yeah.
think of Ron Paul as a joke. He has this kind of high-pitched voice.
Right.
And he would always go, his pet answer was, "So what? I don't care."
Right.
Which made sense.
Yeah.
But he always seemed like, I don't know, it just, his high-pitched voice,
I get
his
it.
squeal and stuff.
I see where you're coming from.
I couldn't
Yeah.
take him seriously. But he was right about
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Hey,
And he's to this day, he's probably right about it.
yeah. Yeah. He's, I'll say in 98 was the first time I voted. And it wasn't, I don't think I voted in the presidential. It was like prelim.
Yeah, this
preliminary
was
type stuff.
midterms.
Yeah, it had to be. Right. Yeah. Midterms. Right.
Yeah.
In 98. And between there and 2008, it may have been 07 is the first time in the preliminaries that I voted again, and it was for Ron Paul.
In the primary for
Yeah, and I think in the
was that for
general
Republican?
election,
Did he run for Republican?
He
Or
ran. He
independent?
did run. It would have been Libertarian, but I think I voted for him because I did change that ticket from Democrat to Republican.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time I voted, and that's who I was going to vote for anyway. So in 07, by that, man, I can't remember. It was in 07 for sure that I did vote for
In the primaries.
in the primaries for Ron Paul. I think I wrote him in 08.
Okay. When John McCain lost to Obama like a loser.
Like a loser, yeah. Yeah. And of course, then I was a lot more libertarian.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of things in my life that are still libertarian,
Right.
but
But you're not a lawbertarian.
no, not at all.
Nor are you a Republican.
That's for
A
sure.
Republican. Or I don't even know if you're a Republican.
Yeah, I whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Right.
Doesn't matter.
I know. It really doesn't.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's a little history with how much I appreciate Ron Paul.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do. Yeah.
That's cool. There was a funny LM blank O to that meme from Baked, Alaska. I guess he's out of prison, or jail or whatever. I know that he went to jail a couple of times.
Right.
But he was laughing at Andrew
Oh, he
Torba's
did?
tweet.
Okay.
LM based LM
I
blank
didn't even
O.
see him reply at all.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Baked, Alaska. He's been on the Fallen State a few years back after Charlottesville, several years ago now.
Yeah.
I blanked out the LM blank O. Because
Typical.
we're Christians. You know, we're at the top of the hour. You want to take a break? I want to take a break.
Okay.
Guys, enjoy not Hake music, but Bigg Bump, and then we'll get into Hillary Clinton and literacy and your calls if you'd like to call in, guys. But this is Little Miss Sunshine by Bigg Bump, featuring Z, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I'll be right back, guys. Hang tight, and you can cover your ears and sing La La La, but it's not Hake music. So it's not that bad. All right, be right back.
This for you, Z. There you go.
It's just different, epic.
The apple of my eye, damn near cry every time I see your face. This feeling don't wanna erase or replace, that really can be left unsaid. In a night exchange, I love you and kiss her forehead.
I love you, Daddy.
And Daddy loves you too. Now rest your head, my princess, and say your prayers too. Can't be overprotective, but who can blame me? Show her the ways of the world. Go ahead and judge me. Tell her to question everything. Never be a follower. If she doesn't, guarantee this world will somehow swallow her. But as long as I'm alive, I'ma give her guidance and be an oracle, teach her morals and be a Morpheus.
Dad, I need to ask
Okay,
you
I'm
a question.
listening.
What's the meaning of life? Why did God put us here?
I'm sitting here like, damn, she's only 7. How could someone so young be so introspective? The brightest star in the universe is when, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. She's my little Miss Sunshine. Yo, the brightest star in the universe is where, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. Nah, cause she's my little Miss Sunshine. My Sherry Amour, hold up. Just recording this track gets me all choked up. My Sherry Amour illuminates the darkest night. My little Miss Sunshine, my guiding light, she shines.
Shine bright like a diamond.
And little does she know that I'm her biggest fan. Enjoys the spotlight, even the awkward stare. She loves to entertain and doesn't even care. Can't be plunging at times, I'm like, what's up with that? Sour 1 minute, sweet the next, my little sour patch. Hurt the wildest coats, make the best horses. My beautiful caterpillar, metamorphosis. A piece of heaven on earth, beautiful and innocent. That unconditional love, matter the sentiment. Take a step back to reflect on this miracle. And God only knows why he put her here. Yo, the brightest star in the universe is where, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. She's my little Miss Sunshine. Yo, the brightest star in the universe is where, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. Nah, cause she's my little Miss Sunshine. Before you were born, I wanted a little boy. And on that video, I might have sounded a little devoid. Was thinking, or I really wasn't thinking at all. Cause for the past 7 years, I've been overjoyed. Only concern now is I don't let you down as a father. My biggest accomplishment in life, and so glad you're a part of my life. Ups and downs like the next man. But the next man don't have you as a kickstand. And no, that doesn't mean that I be leaning on you. Oh no, I need you more than words could ever show. My other half right with me throughout all life changes. And for that reason alone, she's more than amazing. The brightest star in the universe is where, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. She's my little Miss Sunshine. Yo, the brightest star in the universe is where, yo, it's right here on planet Earth. Okay, nothing compares to this ray of light. Nah, cause she's my little Miss Sunshine.
Hake break music that I don't hate, says Foot Foo One.
It's just different.
Well, thank you guys for bearing with us through that beautiful music. That's Bigg Bump, Little Miss Sunshine. We got some super chats to read before we get it back into the stories. Hillary Clinton. Evil is still real, says Hake. What side of the war are you on? I am praying that it will be over very soon, and at the end, every single Israeli and Palestinian is fill in the blank. Maybe we could send some nukes to both sides? Thoughts? I disavow. That's my thought. Chomping at the bit. Ducks in a barrel. Blames his mom's homeschooling. Has a 5-year art degree. Indeed. Hake, children want to admire, respect, and look up to their dad, so please don't have any children.
Wow.
It's messed up, man. Canadian David says, fishes in a row. W, Bigg Bump, W, Rumble, win. Nice. That's pretty funny, man. Thank you to the D Live crew, guys. Appreciate that. Danimal bought a coffee. Great work on the debate, Hake. That's right. I had a debate last Thursday, right before the men's forum.
I missed it. Yeah.
Check it out if you want to. We debated about are men ignored by society compared to women. Thank you, Danimal. Carver bought a coffee. Happy Columbus Day, Hake and Bigg Bump. In honor of Christopher Columbus discovering the New World, I would like to know what each of your favorite so-called Native American dishes is. I personally don't know any. We don't have any of their restaurants around here. That's a little strange, isn't it? Makes me curious what or whom they actually ate, he says. Says Carver. I don't know. What do American Indians eat?
Oh, I thought he said Native
Buffalo?
Americans, so I was going to say fried chicken.
Oh, yeah, Native Americans. I'm a Native
Mac and
American.
cheese.
Bigg Bump is a Native American. That's right. We eat barbecue.
Barbecue.
And pizza,
Ribs.
Little Caesars. Terrible. He did say Native Americans. That's what we are.
Yeah.
I assumed that he meant American Indians. That's funny, man. Tabor J. Eaton says, why can't Jesse stay such and such style on the air? What the? Oh my gosh. Is that what? No, I don't think that that's this way. He's talking about the secret to making boys first. And and when I said such and such style, I censored it. But that's funny, man.
Yeah, I guess I haven't
think
quite
that's the
mastered it.
Yeah.
I have 2 girls.
Yep. 2 daughters. I think it's maybe in the water. I don't know. Anyway, that's that for the super chats. Shall we get to the Hillary Clinton thing?
That's cool. Yeah.
All right. So Hillary Clinton is a mess. Take it away,
That's
Bigg
for
Bump.
sure. She is a mess. The Hillary Clinton calling MAGA cult members and that they need deprogramming. And I truly, I know that she's not joking around. She's not playing. She's serious as serious as a heart attack. I know that for a fact. She's miserable. And this is those miserable females are conniving, dirty, nasty, evil, and that's my tangent on that. But this is Hillary Clinton on CNN talking about Trump and the America First MAGA people that she is really against. I read the headline. So former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton railed against. Yeah, right.
I forgot she was Secretary of State.
Right.
First Lady.
Right, First Lady. And there's another, that Benghazi situation that she was ahead of. Not ahead, but what do you...
She was the
she's in
Secretary of State
command.
during
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm trying to think of a better, specific word for it, but she's in command of the operation.
Yeah.
And everything going on with those state issues, and and that for her to start pointing blame at other people, calling other people out.
We have the
Ridiculous.
headlines from her statement, Hillary, on the MAGA people, saying that they should be re-educated.
Maybe there
something like
needs
that.
to be a formal deprogramming of cult members.
Formal. Crazy.
It's crazy. I'm saying that's why she
means
it.
that.
Yeah, she wholeheartedly means that, and as well as a lot of Americans,
a lot of so-called normal people believe that mess too.
Yeah.
They can't see themselves.
Right.
How evil they are.
Yeah.
And brainwashed and cult like they are.
She also went on to say, this is, I guess, part of it also, and sadly, so many of these extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. She also said he's only in it for himself.
That's rich of her to say.
Man.
There's more of an indication that she's in it for herself than Trump in it for himself.
The other way around, yeah.
Can you imagine having a woman president? She's so phony.
I understand, Bill. No. But, I mean, she's a piece of work.
Yeah.
Not that you don't see that every day, but you see her fruits, and for her to say what she's saying is mind blowing. It's unbelievable how she's looking for that. She wants that to happen.
Yeah.
She wants that Soviet style prisons, those gulags and things.
Right.
That's what she wants. And,
yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people want it too. It doesn't stop.
They're already doing it to some of the January 6ers
yeah.
and the Charlottesville people and so many whites and independent thinkers. They want to do it to Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer and all those guys.
Yeah, in a couple weeks he has to do his 60 days if he can't appeal, if his appeal doesn't go through.
Wow.
Yeah. So they are,
they're punishing.
Yeah.
They're trying to do it to Trump.
Right. Yeah.
I have the clip, or
Nice.
a clip
Portion.
that's a sort of mashup of different things that Hillary said in that CNN interview with Christiane Amanpour, or whatever that guy was.
Right. Yeah.
Is she Muslim? What is she?
I don't
Or
know
Greek?
what she is.
No, she can't be Greek because
I'm poor.
they all end with Okos, Apollos, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the clip 12. Hillary Clinton on MAGA extremists need to be deprogrammed from their cult membership. Here it is.
And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
And how do you do that? Because you said you have to defeat them by defeating their leader.
At this point, I think, sadly, he will still likely be the nominee, and we have to defeat him. And we have to defeat those who are the election deniers, as we did in 2020 and 2022.
How is this still happening?
It's the classic tale of an authoritarian populist who really has a grip on the emotional, psychological needs and desires of a portion of the population. And the base of the Republican Party, for whatever combination of reasons, and it is emotional and psychological, sees in him someone who speaks for them. And they are determined that they will continue to vote for him, attend his rallies, wear his merchandise, because for whatever reason, he and his very negative, nasty form of politics resonates with them. Make America Great Again was a bid for nostalgia, to return to a place where people could be in charge of their lives, feel empowered, say what they want, insult whoever came in their way. So it is like a cult, and somebody has to break the, break that momentum.
Crazy. What a psycho woman. I think you're right about that, man.
Yeah.
She was not joking.
No.
Christiane Amanpour, like, sort of giggled a little bit.
Right.
Then she's like, how?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But she didn't even break a smile.
No. She was serious. There's no doubt about that.
And you want to talk about emotional, psychological. The liberals are the ones who are the most mentally ill.
Yeah.
Am I right about
You're
that?
right.
I think
Yeah.
statistically speaking,
yeah.
they're the most miserable, angry, mentally ill people.
Yeah.
And they're the emotional ones.
Yes.
I mean, most of us Trump supporters are emotional and cult members ourselves. True.
Right.
We got to overcome that. But there doesn't need to be any formal mamification by the liberals.
Right. Right. No one needs that. Yeah.
And intellectuals are emotional people.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She's talking about a nasty, negative form of politics. That's you. That's the liberals. They're like, how nasty and negative they got with Trump.
I'm telling you, she lives a different life as far as what she's typical for that left, that perception, like what you see, what you're really doing, you put on to someone else.
Yeah, projection.
Yeah, the projection. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's always that. It's always a projection.
They
part.
accuse you of what they're doing.
Yeah, and
of what they are.
Every time, it doesn't. It's never a miss. You'll see it all the time, and because she said something else that, and I guess you just said it. Like that feeling.
Yeah.
Or he makes you feel something, or he wants you to do something. I forgot what she said specifically, but that's exactly what she's doing anyway.
Right.
Her and her ilk also. That
very true.
They want you to get riled up.
Yeah.
That's fine, but don't say it's wrong when MAGA does it or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and want to put us or MAGA, us, I'll say us, meaning MAGA, because I am Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
Like re-educate, deprogram, things like that.
They're the brainwashed ones. They think that LGBTIQ stuff is real, and that's who they are. Right. They think the racism stuff is the opposite of what it actually is. It's like we live in an anti-white world, and they're pretending like blacks are these poor innocent victims.
Right.
And then these women it's almost like the typical woman, really.
Yeah.
Accusing you of being what they are.
Yeah. Right.
They accuse you of being emotional when they're like 100 times.
Yeah. Exactly.
You may be wrong, but they're like really wrong. Insult whoever came in their way. I can see some of this stuff. There's some truth to it, right? Because there are people. Oh, I'm being like Trump. I'm just gonna go off on people half cocked.
Right.
And that's wrong. We shouldn't do that.
Right.
And that's not how Trump actually is.
Right.
He's actually quite measured in his attacks. He's precise.
Yeah.
He attacks people who are going after him.
Yeah, definitely.
And these attacks are true. before I even know it. The sanctimonious, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Lion Ted.
He doesn't, I've come to realize he doesn't say anything that doesn't have any substance at all. If he says it, you can bet 99% of the time that he's spot on, or he's leading up to something by not saying something or omitting something.
Yeah.
I come to notice that and realize that.
So much of what he says turns out to be true.
Yeah.
Obama wiretapping Trump Tower.
Yeah.
The administration did indeed spy on his campaign.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
And that was, a lot of people ignored that from the jump, because there was a New York Times article that came out and think the beginning of 2016, like literally January something 2016, first week of 2016, that they were wiretapped Trump.
Wow.
And when I seen that, I was like, I know. There's
Yep.
no doubt about it.
Of course.
And it took a while for people to catch on to it, but
Yeah.
without it, I knew that for a fact. Yeah. So that, and also like I said, she's miserable. People that are miserable, they want that pushed on other people also, that if they don't, especially if they don't agree with your politics or religion or just the way you live in general, they want the worst for you.
Yeah.
They may not say it or show you, but they want the worst for you.
I mean, you see this guy who got himself killed, stabbed to death in D.C. or New York.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. standing around with his girlfriend.
Right.
I thought I saw tweets of this guy, this Antifa supporting guy, celebrating when such and such person died.
Yeah.
Or celebrating when something bad happened to, I don't know, Clarence Thomas or something like that.
Right. I think I
These
recall
people
seeing that
celebrate the deaths of
I see it all the time.
Of our best Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They do have, and they want to spread their misery. Nothing satisfies a bad attitude or resentment like making the other person mad.
Right. Yeah. That's part of the evil spirit. It gets off on
revenge.
That. Yeah.
And she's looking, I mean, granted, she's getting older, but she has these big old bags in her eyes like Hake. And she still is trying to pretty up and run her mouth on politics.
In her mouth suit.
Yeah.
She's, look at her.
No life.
None, no.
She's gotten fatter. She's swallowed up all the fat from Bill Clinton, who used to be pretty fat.
She has his energy.
Yeah.
She has
sucked all the life out of him.
He looks like he's gone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. She's nasty. She's a
yeah,
nasty
it really
individual.
is.
Oh, so you had Amanpour up. And I thought it was because I was relating it to Amanpourian, something like that. So I figured she might have been Persian or Iranian. And she is half, her mother is English, but her father was Iranian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a Shiite Muslim. So Amanpour. And I doubt that's her real name.
Okay. Christiane Amanpour.
Right.
She was the one interviewing her. I thought that was, I didn't hear her talk for the first clip that I saw.
Oh, okay.
A week ago or whenever. And I literally thought that she was talking to the vice president, the so-called vice president, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see a good look at her face.
Yeah.
And you just see like that dark brown hair.
Right.
Christiane Amanpour.
Christiane Amanpour. Yeah.
I have some impression of her, and it's negative, but I don't remember why or what she did or said from several years ago. But she's been involved at CNN for a long time, huh?
Yeah, she has been.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sick world.
I can't think of anything. I just know her name pops up so much.
Yeah.
Her and was Navarro on CNN? Anna Navarro?
I think she was.
Yeah, so sometimes I think I get them confused, but they're both migrants, illegals, or whatever they are. I don't know what they are.
Anchor babies,
yeah, probably so. Yeah.
Terrible. Let's get into this then versus now, the black literacy thing. So what is this? You gave me 2 articles. One of them was like a Google Answers thing, like the people researching.
Yeah.
From years and years ago.
Right.
But it's still relevant to this day.
Very relevant today.
And then the first one, though, that you sent was this declaring literacy
as a fundamental and global civil right. And of course, it's a female that's writing this. And many females that I've read on this civil rights thing are involved. They're involved 100% of the time.
Females?
Yeah.
And it was Liz Brooke is the name of this woman. And it had the illustration as a black female holding a book with glasses on. Big old hair. Language Magazine.
Language Magazine. Right.
February 2023. Liz Brooke addresses the opportunity gap.
That's it. Yeah. And they use another word also, another gap, but they don't like achievement gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the opportunity gap is the one they like to use more than the achievement gap. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't want to blame their lack of achievement. They want to blame, it's a lack of opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
When there's opportunities all around, but people who are not raised well, or if they have anger, if you're an emotional, out of control person, you're not going to learn well.
Right. Right. You're
going to be easily distracted.
Yeah. Yeah. And point the blame, like you said, point the blame as some other issue that's not the real issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do that all the time. And that's what that other portion, that Google answer alludes, or that was the base of it, because it shows that opportunity gap, it has nothing. No, because opportunity's there.
Right.
So did you want to read it, or you want me to go?
Yeah,
into
you know
it?
what? Before, it currently, according to the National Assessment of Education Progress, according to this article by Liz Brooke,
right,
35% of fourth graders and 32% of eighth graders in the U.S. read proficiently. And they're saying, what did they say? They said something like,
hold on, let me take this off.
Oh, you might have highlighted this. Along with racial and social justice, literacy is a fundamental human right, just like any other liberty we enjoy. It is time to declare that literacy is a civil right in our country and globally. Reading is the gateway to learning and lifelong success. And that was a quote that you sent to me from this Liz Brooke woman in Language Magazine. Improving literacy and communication. And this woman that's nonsensical. That's not sensible. Oh yeah, you're showing stuff from the other stuff. It's the other thing. I don't have that one. I don't have that one screenshotted. But literacy is not a right.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
That's like saying water or healthcare or housing is a human right.
Right.
Those are needs. And then literacy is icing on the cake if you can read. That's great.
Right.
But it's not a right.
Right. Yeah. They're, they base it, it has to be, and it has to be a racial issue. It has to be a social issue. And it's not as simple as you do learn to read, or you don't learn to read.
Yeah.
That's it. And there's nothing else to it.
Yeah. And then once you do have the ability to read, you're going to read all the wrong stuff. You're going to think that you're a pharaoh. You think you're an Egyptian when you're an American, black. Or you'll think you're a black Hebrew Israelite. Or they'll think the earth is flat. Or you'll believe in transgender or LGBT mess. You'll believe in systemic racism.
Yeah.
You'll believe all kinds of insane things.
Yeah.
Reading.
Right. Yeah.
Or you'll believe the Bible is the word of God and Jesus is God.
Yeah. You'll be in everywhere land.
Yeah.
Your mind will take you wherever, because that's what's going to happen when you read. You're going to get influenced. You're possessed already. You're going to get influenced to come up with all these other ideas and thoughts and make up every type of solution. You have the answer for it. You don't have the answer, but you're going to come up with it somewhere else.
Yep.
And so you said it. It's not a right. It's not a civil right.
Yeah.
You either do it or you don't do it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And it's on you to learn, and your parents, really.
Yeah. And it's just and it's not even a right of what I'm about to say. It's just you learn the basic to the reading, writing, arithmetic. You just learn it, just do it. And once you do it, it's like a bike almost, where you do it, you're not going to forget.
Right.
You choose not to, then you're not going to read at a fourth grade level as a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Uh-huh.
So that's just all the other stuff that they come up with is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Achievement gap, opportunity gap. You just, again, you just have to do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny, whatever you're into, that's what feels so important. People make that to be
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Right.
Cernovich said when he was interviewed on JLP's The Fallen State several years back, he said what you focus on seems important to you.
Right.
And so just
Right.
change whatever you're focusing on. And so this lady's focused on literacy and all that stuff. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Black literacy, U.S. black literacy rates, then versus now.
Okay. Yeah.
This was a Google Answers thing that you found. I don't know, how'd you find it? Explain this.
So this is someone, Google Answers. They asked a question about, I'll just read it. It says, I heard once on television,
I do have this
a
screenshot.
stat quote. You have that stat quoted that indicated that black
The first
literacy in the U.S. expressed as a percentage of black population was higher earlier in the 20th century between 1900 1920
The Google Answers one.
than it was at
I
the,
didn't label them, sorry.
at the time. In parentheses, it was early 90s
Yeah.
when I heard the statistic. Okay. So, first I would like to confirm if that is true, that the percentages were higher in the early 20th century. Where this comes from is I was listening to one of Thomas Sowell's interviews with I guess which one is he? The Brookings Institute, I think. Whichever one is in Stanford, that he was just talking about, I think one of his books or whatnot. And he brought up a statistic of where, I guess it was some, I can't recall what it was. I can't remember what it was. And this was about 2014, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there, where he brought up about this.
You can show us because I have too many screenshots in there.
This phenomena about how blacks after slavery were so quick. They were, of course, the illiteracy rate was so high, but right after the Civil War and going into the 1880s, 1890s, that the literacy rate was at 10%. And it shot within a 30-year time span, it shot to 80, almost 90%.
Wow.
After this being enslaved and not being able to read. You know, they always say, "Oh, we weren't able to read."
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Right.
But what does that say about these people that were freed and they became literate at a astounding rate and so quick that that's what he was saying, that, and I was like, whoa, okay, let me check this out. So I just put it in and I found it immediately.
Wow.
Some of these links aren't opening, but I think it's just more of just
because they're old. They're from like 20 years old.
Yeah, right. Because the question even was from 2002. Yeah. But that's where what's her name, Liz Brooks, the author or the writer of that article, that's where it stops.
Right.
Stop the nonsense of saying it's racial or social.
Yep.
Stop the nonsense of saying that there's a opportunity gap or achievement gap.
Right.
You look at a gap. This was a gap, and there was no one holding them back, and they were able just to do it. And
if you think about it, it only takes a childhood to learn to read.
Right.
And then you're set.
That's where I was coming from earlier when I said that's all you need. You know, how they always say the 3 R's.
Yeah.
You just need those. And it doesn't take much to get to a level of literacy.
Yeah.
stop blaming everyone.
Yep.
Stop blaming. They were under, they didn't have anyone holding them back, but they were under a certain, they weren't free at one point, and that didn't stop them from once being free to being able to read.
Yeah.
That didn't hold them back.
Booker T. Washington was born in slavery,
Right.
and he was freed, and he wrote like multiple books.
Right, yeah.
Founded the Tuskegee Institute.
Right.
He might have been funded by some whites,
Right.
but he knew how to work with people.
Yeah.
And he knew how to present himself, and he had common sense.
Mm-hmm.
And he built that school.
Yeah.
And he was like a no-nonsense, no excuses type of a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it.
He
There's
wrote
no
books.
nonsense. Right. He
Some
wrote
of them have
books.
written books. And they're like good books, I heard.
Right.
I haven't read any of them.
Me
but
either,
JLP's
but-
read Up from Slavery and Character Building.
Yeah.
And he presented it to when we had the Bond Leadership Academy for boys, boys and girls. And there is some like wisdom in those books.
Right.
That's like lost today from the so-called edu-momificated people.
And they don't want to look at that at all.
Right.
They'll gloss over that.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Pretend like it never existed, never happened. You know, I had never heard of anything like this.
Yeah.
I never heard that, never heard the how blacks that were freed, how did they become literate?
Yeah.
I never knew that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
But there is something, and for it not to be talked about, because it is kind of it's helpful to know that, but if you don't do it, you're not going to do it. You're going to blame, be the victim all the time. And I'll go to say that the civil rights that they want for that is this literacy thing. It looks kind of like it could be, again, the civil rights movement, bringing in all these programs and things like that. They don't work.
Yeah, it's a communist buzzword.
Yeah.
For just bringing in more government and power grabs,
Right.
getting these activists, giving them false power
Yeah.
and influence, and spreading victimhood and mess, taken away from the whites.
And I'm going to take it again to where I used that, or I brought up the time I guest hosted for you with the baseball statistics, that I think is the same correlation with fathers leaving the home, that there's no structure to help them, to help the kids, to push the kids in any type of way to be literate and to stay, go ahead and read a book, go ahead and read the article. Hey, check this out, son, daughter, read this to me, or something like that. Just something small.
Yeah.
To keep doing it. That's why these numbers are 35% are illiterate. Don't even read at a fourth grade level. I may have sent it to you, but that I Promise school that LeBron James has.
Oh, yeah.
Where none of the eighth graders that are there, that started there as third graders, they can't read or write at a third grade level.
Wow.
And this guy's getting, at least is being subsidized $1.4 million. There was some other figure in there somewhere that they were getting, the government was giving him money. And then they always say, oh, he built this school by himself. He's being subsidized by the government. There's no, or maybe there's no, he's not just doing this on his own, And doesn't
he's
matter.
failing.
And he's failing.
Or
exactly.
they're failing anyway.
Yeah. He's attached to it. He's failing.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, everyone is failing at it, and they're going to keep getting more money, and then this school is still going to be what it is with the kids going there, whatever their education is. It's not going to be up to par.
Yeah.
Again, if you're at 8th grade, you started the school there, you're at the same level of reading comprehension and as you were when you started the school.
And those are key years, 3rd grade to 8th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, those are key years, kinder, 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
But 3rd through 8th, man, that's terrible.
But then,
Akron, Ohio, LeBron James.
LeBron James. and it's also another thing.
LeBron James.
People continuously sending their kids to these schools, You're
Yeah.
not gonna. It's gonna continue to be the same thing. And then you send your kids to school because there's only the mother there. She has to work. The father ran away because he didn't want to deal with the mom.
Yeah.
You know, or she just didn't know who he was, and now she just has to deal with the child by herself. And they're, you know, that's where you get it. Either the mom pushes the kids too much or doesn't show them the right way because the father's not there. And you get those numbers.
That's that Marxist way. Like they want to destroy God and the family and men.
Right.
Like Patrisse Cullors, didn't she want to dismantle the traditional
Right. Yeah. That was
Black
that was the
American
goal.
family?
That Marxist goal ever. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah. It is a
Blind
mess.
people. With
Right.
their false values.
Yeah. Yeah. That just really.
And you hear about blacks all the time talk about education, and then they still hate whites. They still blame racism.
Right.
They
Yeah.
still don't think clearly, even when they are so-called educated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True.
It's terrible.
True. It's just a.
They don't believe in God or morality.
Right.
They think it's an education problem.
Yeah. They stick to that. That's why a civil right to read. Why are you telling me about that? That's not the issue. That's not what's keeping you away from your literacy, being literate anyway. That's not it. You've
abandoned fathers and family.
Yeah.
And morality.
Yeah. That's just a no nonsense. There's no excuse. If freed slaves, newly freed slaves can go from 10% literacy to 80% in a couple decades. There should be no reason that these numbers are where they are.
What are the numbers right now? I don't even know what they are.
I
know that they're below.
They're definitely
they're
below.
subpar.
Yeah. Since there's so many, like the demographics, they take it.
We've known education has been infiltrated by liberals.
Yeah.
From bottom to top.
Mm-hmm.
We see them pushing the LGBT stuff, the racism, mumbo jumbo, feminism,
right?
Degenerate sex out of wedlock and all that stuff.
Yes.
So it's their fault that, and the parents, of course.
Yeah.
Even more so, that education is in a dismal state.
Right.
And we're more funded than any other country, maybe, I heard.
I would imagine so. That makes sense.
We pour so much money into it and get nothing.
Yeah.
We educate a whole bunch of illegals and immigrants and refugees and foreign exchange students better than our own.
Yeah. And they get the most. They get the most attention.
Yeah. True.
As soon as they come over, they get whatever attention they need.
Yeah.
Funds or just support.
And these public schools don't mind it because a head, that means money. Per head, they get such and such funds.
Yeah. Yes.
So they want more and more people.
More and more people in the classroom.
They don't care about.
Yeah.
They stay paid anyway, no matter how much they fail.
Right. Yeah. That's where I say about that school. They're still going to get money.
Yeah.
They'll probably double that money next school year. Probably instead of the 1.4, they'll probably have 3 million.
And then they can say, "Oh, racism. We need it's a crisis.
Right.
Come in, more government and more money."
Yeah.
Wow, it's corrupt.
Man, it's wild. There's so many like numbers. I've read so many numbers because I didn't know how I wanted to send you this.
Right.
And I'm just reading the numbers and numbers and numbers. And I deal with numbers at work anyway, so I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to do it, after work when I'm done working.
I know, exactly. We know that the blacks are failing in school
right.
and in life.
Right.
And it's worse today.
Yeah.
Even the so-called educated ones, they're worse in their thinking, darker in their thinking today than 150 years ago.
Yeah. I seen some of the educated blacks, like they're in the Pharaoh type ones, and they think they've come up with something by saying 1 + 1 is 3 because you're missing something. There's something in between there. I don't know if it's that plus sign or what that makes it 3. Something. I saw it and I said, nah, I'm not even going into that right now.
Well, Frederick, the Pharaoh from L.A., he called in and said, we need literacy. And he told me that Trump was found guilty of fraud.
Yeah,
And I'm like, found guilty in the court of law? Like, no, they found him guilty enough to charge him. And then this judge, so-called, found with that sketchy ruling or whatever that was, pre-trial statement. I'm like, you're legally illiterate in terms of the law.
Yeah. Right.
Crazy.
And that's just how, and that's also how they get people also. They just say things, they'll put things out.
Yeah.
Knowing that
People will fall
individuals
for
are
it.
going to fall for it every time. And I've known them to do that, to say, oh, this person did this. You see it with like Russell Brand and things like that. This person did this.
Right.
Now he's always labeled that.
Yeah.
The baseball player, Trevor Bauer, this player did this, but 3-4 years later,
you find out that's not the real story.
Yeah, that's not it. It's always more to it.
Yeah.
But you just have to put it out first.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then everybody's going to buy that up.
Hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hands
Big
up,
lie.
don't shoot. Yeah. I'm
Crazy.
just going to get some Skittles in Arizona.
People repeat hearsay like it's real.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even be concerned with the story.
Right.
But then they're out there repeating it, spreading evil.
Right.
Gossiping.
Yeah.
Like females.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I had to learn that. Also, it had to come to me like, hey, you stop, feeding into stuff like that, or just getting away from that mindset, because that'll mess you up crazy. Like, you'll go crazy with that.
Right.
And that's why people are going crazy, because that does that to you.
Just repeating what they heard and believing what they have been taught.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Let's get to some calls here in the last 10 minutes or so. William in California is on the line. William, thanks for calling, man. And thanks for holding. What's up? You're live with Bigg Bump.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Hey, Bigg Bump, how you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you, Will? I'm sorry. How are you doing, William? Sorry.
I'm doing good, man. Thanks
Right
for
on.
asking.
Yeah.
Your music sounds good, too. That's bad. I
Thank
like
you.
it.
Thank you.
Just want to cover a few things. I haven't called you in a few weeks, and I see you got you some new callers, James. That's good.
Nice.
That's good. That's a good thing. Numbers. That Hillary thing, it was like I said, I want to cover some things real quick. The Hillary thing, she's getting kind of comfortable because she thinks that she's out of trouble, and because, like he said, because you'll go to jail. And they didn't pursue that the first time, but see, if he would have been reelected, he would have went buck wild, and a whole bunch of stuff wouldn't have fell through. Black Lives Matter probably would have went down faster, and wokeness would have been definitely thrown out the window. PPP loans in my own business, that would be gone. And we have a lot of people come in on the United States, always get to know other people's business, but you see what happened in Israel. I want to cover that. You remember when I told you, James, that the Israeli military is like number 2 or number 3 in the world?
I heard that, yeah.
They can take care of business.
Right.
What's getting ready to happen out there, this is a declaration of war. They have mobilized a mechanized division up there, and they're getting ready to tear up some stuff. I think they might take it over completely this time and not give it, because they gave that to them. They gave that land to them.
Oh. Was
about
that
10 years ago?
Okay.
So
Israel's going to get
it's
bigger,
ready.
you thinking?
Israel's going to get bigger. They're going to tear up everything. They have a different rules of engagement than we do when it comes to terrorism. As you know, the Israelis are the blueprint for the anti-terrorism thing, and they take care.
I heard that there were American cops over there, maybe getting training, and New York NYPD people.
Yeah, probably.
I heard like maybe a dozen or 2 dozen or so. I don't know. I heard a number of Americans died, maybe 9 or I don't know how many.
That if Trump was in office, there would have been a lot of trouble for that. But Israel was going to take care of it.
It wouldn't have happened.
Pardon me?
I don't think it would have. I don't think that Hamas would have.
It wouldn't
been
happen.
as bold.
See, you got callers that don't understand the dynamics of international business.
Yeah.
They say we take over things, and no. See, if you had a president in the White House that was strong and displayed strength, was that peace through strength, you wouldn't see. They're getting ready to investigate and find out that these missiles came from some. It's probably the money of cash, pallets of cash that Biden and Obama gave them to launch all those missiles.
Oh, we gave
dots.
Iran money. We gave Iran money, and Iran gave it to Hamas. Is that what you're saying?
They bought those missiles, and they gave them to Hamas or whoever that was, and they launched 4,000 of them.
Hamas has been launching rockets though at Israel for decades, right?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. But you were a little bit young. You probably wasn't born during the 6-Day War. If you think that was something, wait till you see this. They're getting ready to kill everybody.
6-Day War, and, was that the USS Liberty?
Israel and about 4 or 5 countries surrounded. And,
I wasn't around.
Kicked all of them's butt. They kicked all of them's butt. Now, this is what's going on and why you need a stable government and why the United States gets involved. There's a Saudi Arabia, possibly there's Saudi Arabia and Israel could become allies. And if that happens, you got India. They will actually stabilize the Middle East. What it is that this group that attacked Israel don't want that. So you see where everything comes through Washington is that, you got this cash you're delivering to Iran, and then they're taking this cash and buying missiles and giving it to these people. And then these people are hitting Israel, and Israel ain't going to play that.
Interesting, man. You know what, William? I have to cut it short because I have to get to the rest of the calls, and we're running low on time. Appreciate you, man.
Sure.
Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right. Joe is in Phoenix, Arizona. He wants to correct you, Bigg Bump. Joe, what's up, man? You're live with Bigg Bump. Is he there? Yes.
All right. Good grief. Where to begin today? James, the judge on Trump did issue a summary judgment.
Right, and it was faulty.
That he did committed fraud. Well, you can say it if you want to, but the judge did say Trump committed fraud. So now the
and wasn't that a joke?
No, it wasn't a joke. It was based on the evidence.
It was a joke.
And Bigg Bump, please don't speak about things you have no clue about. The civil rights movement had nothing to do with LBJ's war on terror. War on poverty, not terror. All the civil rights bill did was make it illegal to discriminate against based on skin color and education and housing. That's all it did.
Did I say anything about LBJ and what did I say? What did I say that you disagreed with?
You said that civil rights created all these programs.
It did. Were there programs come behind civil rights movement? Yes or no?
No, it was.
There were no programs at all. There was no programs at all.
It was LBJ's war on poverty, nothing to do with civil rights.
Let's hit.
It's the same. Those are basically those are two communist things. This is all the same thing.
No, all civil rights bill did was make it illegal to discriminate based on skin color,
which is also wrong.
Did programs? So you're saying there were no programs that came after or from civil rights movement?
No, that was LBJ's war on poverty. Look it up, for God's sake. Educate yourself, man. God, please, you're just sounding ignorant on the internet.
To you only, because the so-called civil rights and the war on poverty, those are two peas in a pod.
Nothing to do with each other.
Yes, they do. Yes, they have a lot to do with each other. Class war, so-called class warfare, and so-called racial justice are both part of communism in America.
You can say that, but you can read the actual bill. Nothing to do with each other.
But you're saying one bill, and that's different from the so-called civil rights movement. A bill is not the whole movement.
Civil rights granted voting access and no discrimination based on housing and education.
James just said the movement. My point was based on the movement itself.
Yeah,
and
because
and again, you're
not very bright.
On LeBron James School, you have no clue what you're talking about.
That happened though, but that happened.
LeBron James School succeeding or failing?
Succeeding, because they took in kids that were already two or three grade levels behind, and many of them had learning disability.
And they're still behind.
So, of course, they're not going to be proficient.
In 5 years, they're still behind at where
Of
they
course.
started, at what they started at.
Of course.
No, at what
Of
they started.
course.
But I just said, why is that the issue? Why is that happening? Why can...
It's happening because they took in kids who were already having serious trouble.
Okay, so what
But
about the
making
point I
progress.
made about the recently freed slaves? How are they becoming literate so fast and at a high rate?
I'm assuming they didn't have learning
No, don't
disabilities
assume.
like
I'm asking you.
30% of LeBron's kids did.
But they didn't have. They were at. It was at 10% literacy.
Great.
No, not great.
And that- and
I'm
by the way,
trying to get.
And by the way, Bump, it's not reading, you idiot. It was math that they were not proficient with. The reading was actually progressing nicely. So again, you have
Idiot.
no clue what you're talking about. Yes, you're an idiot. You're on the internet sounding like a complete idiot with no facts, getting things wrong.
I just gave
and
you.
And James
okay.
is, and you were just being a lapdog to James.
You're
He's
right.
already
You're right. Okay,
a racist
Joe.
moron. So
Yeah, you got all the answers.
figure it out.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not
'Cause you
hard.
clearly don't know what you're
It's called
talking about
learning,
either.
And it's called actually having facts and knowing what the hell you're talking about. Because you're
Stay
a
mad.
complete
Why are
idiot
you
and you're a
cussing?
lapdog.
Stay mad.
Knowing
Why are you
what
so
you're
emotional
talking
about this?
matters.
Why are you so mad about this?
Because every day you get on the internet and you lie and denigrate and stereotype black people, and it's a shame. And you're going to get somebody killed eventually. You are.
Knock it off.
You're not making
Joe.
sense, Joe.
It's common sense.
You're living in your imagination. That's not common
No,
sense.
no, it's common sense.
Okay.
And just like Trump, you will get your day in court.
What an
Have a
evil
good day.
person. You too. Bye. Evil Joe. Some super chats before we got to wrap up, guys. Over on Rumble, Evil is Still Real says, speaking of celebrating when enemies die, which we agreed is evil, can we get one more shout out for brain cancer taking out McCain? No, disavow. Hopefully there's a genetic opponent and eats his daughter's brain too. Wish ill will. He's playing around. I disavow it, of course. Hillary is dressing up as a human for Halloween, says Greenwall. Nice. And Suzu Sion bought a coffee. Have Hassan Yeezy and Bigg Bump rap the stand-up remix back and forth. No, that's not Hassan's song. But we got to end. Ain't no monkeys in my family tree. Thank you, Bigg Bump, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bigg
Thank
Bump
you. I
on
appreciate
Twitter. Big_bump on Twitter. Bigg Bump, all one word, on YouTube and Rumble and other platforms.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
Next time.
Well, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. American Anchor Baby coming up next. Here's the Knights of the New Crusade. Bye.
Well, there's monkeys in the jungle, there's monkeys in the zoo. They even got monkeys in some of our schools. They tell us that God didn't make the world in 7 days. They want us to believe that we evolved from the apes. Well, I don't know about them, but I know about me. And there ain't no monkeys in my family tree. The monkeys in the vines, and you'll see them up in trees. You can even see them right there on the TV. They claim that Jonah never lived in the belly of a whale, that our ancestors walked around dragging their tails. I don't know about them, but I know about me. There ain't no monkeys in my family tree. When you see some monkeys, they look kinda cute, but not when they're wearing a tie and a suit. Big book of lines and a fancy degree. Trying to make a monkey out of me. No, no, no.
So good. It's Christian. This bastard.
Well, some monkeys are honest and some monkeys are crooks. Some of those monkeys even write dishonest monkey books. They'll say that Jesus' miracles never did occur and that our ancestors were covered in fur. I don't know about them, but I know about me. And there ain't no monkeys in my family tree. No, there ain't no monkeys in my family tree.
Adios, America. Bye.